Let's see here. Okay, perfect. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. OhSheReads here. And oh goodness, Teddy ruins everything. Okay, let me mute myself. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. Teddy just has to be a part of everything. So he's just climbing over keyboards and computers but yeah, welcome back to my channel. Let's see. I know this is a really awkward time to do a live, so it's totally fine if you're catching this in the playback. I wasn't really expecting anyone to be here at this time. It's like 9:11 p.m. on a Tuesday night, so I totally understand if you couldn't make it, and if, like I said, if you're catching this on playback, it's totally fine. I just really wanted to get a video up for you guys today. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have come up with an upload schedule for my channel, so I will be uploading on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and I do not know what time of the day. Right now I'm just leaving it open. As many of you know, if you joined me for my last live, I have been extremely busy this month with work, so I just haven't had the time to film and edit like I would like. So because that is the case, I have, hold on, I need to mute myself again. Because that is the case, I have taken to just basically decided that I'm going to do lives, and that's how I'm going to keep up with you guys. And I like the idea of kind of like a live TBR / currently reading. I do not do well with TBRs. You guys know this. Last year, I introduced the idea of a TBR jar to my channel, and it failed epically. So I think what it is that I am not really a very good rule follower, even if I'm the one making the rules up for myself. And I think what happened is that telling myself that I'm going to read these books almost always backfires, not only because I'm a mood reader, but because it then kind of makes me not want to read those books. It's really strange. So I decided I will just talk to you guys about the books I am actually interested in reading, and I'm already currently reading, and I'm already currently kind of eyeing to put on my TBR. Now, the books that I will be talking about in this video do not include my Blackathon TBR, which I have not quite completely put together yet. I will be making a formal video announcing that TBR a little later, probably towards the end of January. And also, this does not include, what else? I think that's the only readathon I'm taking a part of. Yeah, so it does not include the Blackathon TBR. That's going to be a separate video. But first, let's start off with a little mini haul. I want to show you guys the books that I've acquired in the past several months, weeks. First one I want to talk about, sorry if it's going to be backwards on here, is Black Enough, Stories of Being Young and Black in America. And this is edited by baaabyyy. So let's see here. Just kind of flip through it quickly. Oh, there goes Teddy, running lives. All right, so Black Enough. So it looks like a short story collection. I was actually sent this by a publisher, so I'm very grateful to have this. I cannot wait to dive into it. So it looks like the writers that took part in this short story collection: Justina Ireland, Varian Johnson, Rita Williams Garcia, Donnell Clayton, who wrote The Bells. Let's see. Kikla Magoon, Leah Henderson, Tucci Onyebuchi, Jason Reynolds, Nick Stone, who wrote Dear Martin, Liara Tamani, Renee Watson, Tracy Baptiste, Poe Booth, Brandy Colbert, Jay Coles, Evie Savoy, and Lamar Giles. So that's pretty awesome. Justina Ireland wrote that one zombie book that I read last year that I really enjoyed. The name is escaping me right now because I can't remember the names of anything. And Evie Savoy wrote American Street. So I'm really excited about this. I love the cover. Look at the representation. I love it. Let's see here. Black is Sisters Navigating Their Relationship at Summer Camp in Portland, Oregon, as written by Renee Watson. Black is Three Friends Walking Back from the Community Pool, Talking About Nothing and Everything, in a story by Jason Reynolds. Black is Nick Stone's bougie debutante dating a boy her mama would never approve of. Black is two girls kissing in Justina Ireland stories set in Maryland. Black is urban and rural, wealthy and poor, mixed race, immigrants, and more, because there are countless ways to be Black enough. Edited by National Book Award finalist E.B. Zaboy and featuring some of the most acclaimed, best-selling Black authors writing for teens today. This is an essential collection of captivating coming-of-age stories about what it's like to be young and Black in America. And I'm so excited. I was so freaking excited when the publisher reached out to me and asked if I wanted a copy of this, because yes, and also I feel like so many of our stories are trauma stories that it's just nice to just read normal stories about just being Black and all that it encompasses, and the fact that, like it says, Black is being rich, poor, you know, immigrant, mixed race, etc. Like there's so many countless ways. I mean, it sounds stupid to even say that to me, to the common person with common sense, but apparently we do. Let's see. Oh, hi guys. I see some of you are here. Hey everyone. Kira says, I feel that can't stick to a TBR list because I'm a mood reader who hates restrictions of any kind, even ones I've chosen on a spiritual level. I'm glad I'm not a psychotic person and I'm not alone on that, because eek. Okay, so there's that. And then the publisher, it came with this. How cute is this? A little, there's no one way to be Black pin, Black enough. You know what's sad is that even though I do live in a pretty liberal area of the South, and I'm not even in like the South, North Carolina is not really the South, and yet you go into areas and like, ooh, I would not feel comfortable wearing this pin, which is really sad in public. I have had instances where I've worn certain sweatshirts, and by certain sweatshirts, I literally mean just sweatshirts like with Howard University on it, which is historically Black university. And didn't quite get the response I wanted. I mean, I didn't even go to Howard. It was like a vintage sweatshirt. But yeah, so I really love this pin, and it breaks my heart that I would, if I wore this, I would get strange looks and I would be made to feel uncomfortable. And I know that I could just do it anyway and be like, F those people, but anybody feel me on this? But I love this pin. And you know what? I might have to wear it anyway. I might have to, maybe I'll put it on a backpack or something. But I love it. Now, this next book I want to talk to you guys about is a book that was actually my December pick for the book of the month. For those of you that don't know or haven't caught those videos on my channel, I joined the book of the month subscription box at the very beginning of last year, and I did it for a full year. I'm still in it, but I've decided that I'm gonna skip months and stop doing it. Not quit it, but just hit skip a month, because you have that option to skip a month and then it doesn't charge you. I'm gonna do that because I just noticed that I wasn't reading those books, and I actually do want to read those books and I want to get to them. So instead of just continuing to collect books and then feeling like this mounting pile of book of the month picks that, you know, the more the books mount, the more intimidating it seems to start reading them, at least to me. So I've decided that I want to catch up on all of the books that I got last year from the book of the month subscription box and read at least 5 of them before I get a new one. That is my rule. I'm counting on y'all to keep me accountable. But this was my December pick, and it would have been perfect to read this in December, but that was not going to happen. And this is One Day in December, a novel by Josie Silver. It looks like a meet cute, like romantic type of wintry Christmas story. I don't know why, but this gives me Bridget Jones's Diary vibes. Maybe it's because he's standing outside by a lamppost. Anyone who's seen that movie knows what I'm talking about, that scene where they're outside towards the end. For those of you who haven't seen that movie, you should definitely check it out. This says, 2 people, 10 chances, 1 unforgettable love story. Lori is pretty sure love at first sight doesn't exist anywhere outside of the movies. But then, through the mist, on a bus window one snowy December day, she sees a man that she knows instantly is the one. Their eyes meet, there's a moment of pure magic, and then her bus drives away. Certain they're fated to find each other again, Laurie spends a year scanning every bus stop and cafe in London, hoping for another glimpse of what she trusts is true love. But she doesn't find him. Not when it matters anyway. Instead, they reunite at a Christmas party where her best friend, Sarah, giddily introduces her new boyfriend, Jack, the man from the bus, to Laurie. What follows for Laurie, Sarah, and Jack is 10 years of friendship, heartbreak, roads not taken, and destinies reconsidered. One Day in December is a joyous, heartwarming, and immensely moving love story, and a reminder that fate takes inexplicable turns along the route to happiness. This sounds sad. Oh, I hate love stories like this, but I love them because they make me cry and think about life, and they make me think about choices and fate, and like, ooh, okay, I didn't know it was gonna go this way, but I'm okay with it. Let's see what y'all are saying. Anybody read Pride by baaabyyy yet? I haven't. It's on the list. Let's see, Jocelyn. Okay, y'all are chatting. Okay, so next up, I have one of my most highly anticipated releases of 2019, and I am shocked, okay, shocked that I have not cracked this open yet, and that is The Wicked King by Holly Black. Now, for those of you who have been watching my channel for a while, know that I read The Cruel Prince the very beginning of last year. That was my very first read of 2018. I gave it 5 stars. You can go check out my Goodreads. I was stunned, and I pre-ordered the Cruel Prince like long before it came out, long before the hype, because I'm obsessed with Holly Black, and she wrote one of my favorite young adult novels of all time, which is The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. Okay, that book is a masterpiece in my eyes in young adult fiction. Like, I loved it, and I'm a sucker for vampire books, so I was gonna love it regardless. But it was written so flawlessly, and it just made me fall in love with Holly Black. I haven't read a lot of her other books. I know she writes a lot of like fairy stories, and I haven't gotten into those yet, but I will. But when I saw that this, not this book, that The Cruel Prince was coming out, I was like, oh, honey, I'm there. And then it was my first read of 2018, and I did not put that book down. I stayed up all night reading that book. I read it in a day. I had no sleep. I was crying. I was laughing. I felt so many emotions, and I was obsessed. I loved it, and the story has stayed with me, and that's when I know I really love a book and it really has impacted me, is when the story really stays with me. And I'm talking about scenes from the stories and everything, because I read so much that some books are just forgettable and I just forget about them. I say all that to say that you best believe that when I heard about this book, I pre-ordered it, and I've been holding on to it because I want to reread The Cruel Prince. And I don't know if I want to do an in-depth review, but I do have an idea for a video on it, because it caused so much controversy in our community, which a lot of people hated it. I've watched so many videos of people I respect, booktubers I really like, and obviously everyone has their own opinion, trashing The Cruel Prince. And I have a lot to say on that, and I do have a video that I want to make about that and the concept of female anger and female rage. I don't want to say anymore because I don't want to give away anything. But I got you guys. I got y'all, okay? I got you guys on the discussion video on The Cruel Prince. I got you. But yeah, so The Wicked King. I need to read this ASAP, but I will need to reread The Cruel Prince first. But The Cruel Prince is not #1 on my priority list, as crazy as that sounds. It's like number 8, so this is like number 9. And let's see, the last newish book I have is The Winter Witch by Catherine Arden. And this is the next in the Bear and the Nightingale series. And this just cracks me up because I know I'm going to love this series. It's based on a Russian folk tale or fairy tale. But it just cracks me up because I continue to collect the books in this series and I have not read the first book. Do y'all have that where there's a series that you just instinctively know that you're going to love, and so you just go ahead and keep collecting the books anyway and don't actually start reading them? Why am I like this, you guys? I don't know, but it's fine. I know you guys are like that too, some of y'all. Let's see. Hey, Sydney. Okay. Okay, so those are the newish books that I have acquired in the past couple weeks to a month. Now I want to show the books that I'm currently reading. And there are so many books I'm currently reading that it's almost just like dizzying. Like, I don't understand why I'm currently reading like 15 books, but it's fine. I'm still currently reading Well-Read Black Girl, which is an anthology, Finding Our Stories, Discovering Ourselves. I talked about this already on this channel, and this is edited by Gloria Edom, who is the founder of the Well-Read Black Girl Book Club. So I'm not going to go into too much more detail since I've already discussed this with y'all before in another video. Another book I've also already talked about is P.S. Forgive My Adolescence by Tori Oglesby. She is a writer friend of mine from Instagram. She self-published this herself. This is her debut. I was really enjoying it, and then I got off track with NaNoWriMo, and I never got back on track. And then December was a cluster. I'm trying to clean up my language and be a better person. I don't know how long that will last. And this month has also been a cluster. So next book I was reading, picked up in December, never finished, Rose in Bloom by Louisa May Alcott. I've also discussed this. This is a reread and a childhood favorite. So I was in the mood to read a classic. I'm still in the mood to read a classic. I think I want to try to dive back more into classics this year. So this was kind of like me cracking open that door. And another book that I've briefly showed on this channel during a book haul. This is Allegedly, a novel by Tiffany D. Jackson. And I'm so intrigued by this novel. I think it talks about a girl who killed a baby. Mary B. Addison killed a baby, allegedly. So it looks like she's introduced, she is interviewed by detectives. They say she killed a white baby, or at least a white baby died under the care of a church-going Black woman and her 9-year-old daughter. So that's the premise. And the public, of course, convicted Mary, and the jury made it official. But did she do it? She wouldn't say. So Mary survived 6 years in baby jail before being dumped in a group home. There wasn't a point to setting the record straight before, but now she's got Ted and their unborn child to think about. When the state threatens to take her baby, Mary's fate now lies in the hands of the one person she distrusts the most. She distrusts the most, her mom. No one knows the real mama, but does anyone know the real Mary? So this is like a suspenseful mystery type joint. I'm really excited. The cover has me really intrigued. I have been holding on to this since like springtime of last year. So I just need to bite the bullet on this one. I've read one page, so I need to get back into it. Another book that I have read a few pages of, and really, I think I listened to an audiobook version, is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. I have a very love-hate relationship with Colleen Hoover. It's gearing towards the side of hate, and that makes me very sad. I think I liked her more when I was younger, and by younger I mean like 5 or 6 years ago. And I think when I first started reading New Adult, because she was one of the very first to do the whole New Adult thing, and she was one of the very first New Adult authors that I found because she was one of the first ones to do it. And I thought that her writing was great. I thought her storytelling was great. But as I discovered more New Adult writers who write better stories that aren't as problematic, with characters that aren't as problematic, and just better woven storytelling, she just continued to slip down further and further on my list until she completely got knocked off my favorites list. I think when I read Ugly Love, I threw in the towel at that point, guys. I know people love her, and I don't really know why. I feel like the people that love Colleen Hoover have not really read good New Adult novels. Because if you've read really good New Adult novels, it's just not gonna cut it. Not to mention her problematic characters and her like over-the-top dramatic storylines that could be featured on General Hospital. Girl. But I continue to buy her books because we've already established that I'm crazy. So I have this one. I don't even know what it's about. I think I pre-ordered it a long time ago and forgot about it. Yeah. So on the back it says, can a love story with a perfect beginning survive a lifetime between two imperfect people? Then the last thing Quinn expected was to meet the love of her life just outside her fiancé's front door. Oh, here we go. I hope there's no cheating in this story because that is not okay. A year after leaving behind their cheating partners, okay, Quinn and Graham are in a perfect relationship that seems designed by fate. Now, 7 years later, their perfect love is threatened by their imperfect marriage. Their memories, mistakes, and dreams that they have built up over the years are tearing them apart. The one thing that could save them might also be the very thing that pushes their marriage past the point of no return. Written with the same emotional depth and keen insight that made Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us and Ugly Love instant New York Times bestsellers, All Your Perfects is a powerfully moving story about a broken couple whose future hinges on promises made in the past, reminding us that the enduring power of love is the ultimate savior. Now, I did love It Ends With Us. It did make it onto my favorites of 2017 list because that's how much I loved it. This is what I mean by I have a love-hate relationship with Colleen Hoover. Like, anyways, still in the middle of And I Darken by Kiersten White. Honestly, I got to a point where I could tell that the story was either going to predictably go one way or it was going to go another way into the unknown. And I don't know why. I'm such a weird reader, y'all. When I can feel the inevitable coming and I feel as if I can guess what the inevitable is going to be in a story, like the climax, I lose interest. I think I like stories that build a little bit more organically and take more twists and turns before they get to the climax because it keeps me engaged. But when I read a story that's very like steadily climbing, it's like a steady climb uphill and you know it's heading towards a climax. And when you read enough stories, and especially when you read enough in a particular genre, you get a formula, right? And you just kind of know what it is. It's kind of like when you watch movies a lot. When you watch a lot of romantic comedies, a lot of scary movies, there's a formula and you kind of just know what it is. It doesn't matter how well written a story may be, you know the formula. And especially when you're familiar with an author and they have a specific formula and story arc and story devices that they always use, you become familiar with their style and you kind of know. So like I said, I think I am more engaged by stories that take way more twists and turns before they get to that climactic peak because it keeps me interested. It keeps me engaged. Like I'm not just steadily climbing towards something that I'm like, oh God, I think I know what's about to happen. Like, okay, I guess I'll keep reading. So it got to a point in this book where I was like, oh, okay, I think I know what's about to happen. Now, granted, I might be completely wrong and it could surprise me, which is why even though people like to rag on Sarah J. Maas a lot, that's why I liked her books, because you would be like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. Okay. And then it wouldn't. And I'd be like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Okay. So I like Sarah J. Maas and I like her books, but that's a discussion for another day. So I got to that point in this book and that's why I stopped and that's where I'm stuck. I don't know if you guys can see, but I am determined to finish it. So I will definitely keep going, and who knows, Kiersten White may surprise me. So we'll see. And another book that I feel that way about is Circe by Madeline Miller. And it's funny because when I did what video was it that I did? I did a tag video. And I can't remember what the name of the tag video was, but it was basically just talking about, like, I think it was the end of the year book tag, I think. And I named this book in that tag saying that I thought it would be one of my favorites of the year if I could get to it and if I could finish it. And I got pretty darn far. I honestly think I only have like a couple chapters left. I don't really get the hype with this book. And it was a disappointing realization because I built it up in my mind so much. Like, oh, I'm going to love this book. It's going to be amazing. And don't get me wrong, it kept me very engaged. It kept me very entertained. It's very well written and the story flows. And I think it's because I don't really like anyone in the story. And it's not like I don't like anyone in the story and I'm okay with that. It's good. Like I'm cool with it. Like I'm going along with this. It's like, I don't really like anyone in the story. I'm forcing myself to root for Circe, but I don't really care for her. I don't really want to root for her. Okay, but I am, I guess. That's who we got. All right, I guess I'm rooting for her. Like, that's how I feel. I don't know. That's just, and like I said, it's not like a cool, edgy, like, comfortable, like, I don't like anyone in the story, and that's fine. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm enjoying it. It's not like that. It's like a letdown, like a disappointing, I don't like anyone in the story. I really want to like Circe. I really want to root for someone, but I'm not. So that was part of the reason why I kind of just stopped reading it. And also because I really thought I was going to love it. And it's not that I didn't like it. Don't get me wrong. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been very entertaining. Like I said, I think it's a great like reimagining or retelling of this Greek myth and a lot of other Greek characters that show up and how their stories intertwine. Like it's masterfully written and masterfully done, right? All the tie-ins, like great stuff. Odysseus showing up, love it, awesome. But I think it's overhyped. I think it's overhyped. And I'm just like, I don't know, guys. Like, I actually enjoy the original Greek myths more than this book. I think it's overhyped. I think it's well written. I think it keeps you engaged. It's hard because there's nothing structurally wrong with this novel. There's nothing I didn't connect to it. There is no connection. There is no emotional connection. I think for a reader, you have to connect to a book emotionally on some level to love it. And you could be like, structurally and technically, this book was great. There's nothing wrong with this book. And then you have your reasons, of course, personal reasons why you don't like it, why you do like it. I just didn't connect to it emotionally. And I think that that was the issue for me. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Let's see. Monty says, that's how I felt about her other book, The Song of Achilles, and that has put me off picking up Circe. Jocelyn said, you have some very honest critiques. I try to be honest with y'all. I just feel like everybody was raving about this book on BookTube. Like, oh my God, this book is amazing. It's my favorite. Kudos to them. Like I said, like I like books that people don't like. The Cruel Prince. But, okay. Okay. And then I also had some books that I wanted to show you guys on my Kindle. But I'm going to show it on my phone because I want you guys to see the cover. And y'all are about to see all my embarrassing book covers. But you know what? I don't care anymore. You know how you keep, well, maybe you don't, but I do. Have a history of keeping all my embarrassing book covers like on e-version so no one else can see the cover because it's just embarrassing. Usually like romance novels and like urban fiction novels and stuff. Y'all about to find out about me today. But anyways, let's see. Kira says, Circe gave me a lot of living in a fae court vibe when she interacted with other gods, which is probably one reason why I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed how inhuman their opinions and lives were. Yeah, I mean, it was an enjoyable read. I just didn't think it was all that it was hyped up to be. And, you know, that was just for me. Like, that was just for me. Okay, so one of the books that I'm reading, I need to finish reading, is from the McLean Brothers series, which I raved about in my, which video did I rave about that series in? I think in my, was it in my Thank You Next video? I think so. Book tag. But the McLean Brothers series is an amazing series written by African-American author Alexandria House. She writes like love stories. About people like in their 20s, 30s. It's not really new adult. It's like, I guess it's adult, but they're great. And I found out about her in 2017, and I've been rocking with her ever since. But let's see if I can show you, if it can focus. There it is. There's the book cover right there. You see it? Let Me Love You, right? There we go. What else am I in the middle of reading? So this is a book that I will be reading in February for Read Soul Lit. And that is right there, Unforgivable Love. Oh, now it's downloading. That's just a sample, but I ordered a physical copy from Amazon. So hard to get it to focus. There we go. There's Unforgettable Love by Sofrina Scott. Another author that I really like, an African-American author that writes, she writes romance, but it's more gritty and less fluffy. Nia Forrester. She has a new book out called Snowflake. Let's see if I can get it to focus. It's right there in the corner, Snowflake. And that one I'm really intrigued about. It takes place in a college, so I guess it's considered new adult, and it's about this college athlete who's very popular, player, you know, the usual, you know, stereotype, jock stereotype. And I don't think he has a very great home life, and he decides to stay home for winter break, I believe. It's a winter break, Christmas break, and the strange, weird, nerdy girl across the hall and him have never interacted or spoken to each other. And I think during this break, since they're like the only people left in the dorm, they start to interact with one another and form like a friendship and a bond. And obviously, you know, they're going to fall in love and all that good stuff. But I'm a sucker. If y'all don't know this about me, y'all about to find out. I am a sucker for like high school love stories, but more on the grittier side. Like not so much the fluffier side, more on the grittier, real side. And I'm also a sucker for like college stories, any type of school, like boarding school, high school, college, like any type of school-based thing. I don't know why. And I also am a sucker for like sports-based romance. Like I love reading about athletes. Don't know why. Okay, so this is another Colleen Hoover book that I got via my Kindle Unlimited membership that I'm really, really intrigued by. I know we like kind of dragged her a little while ago, but this is Verity by Colleen Hoover, and it's supposed to be completely different from her. It's like a mystery, and I am down for that. So it's basically, I think it's about this girl. I don't know 100% the backstory. Let me look it up on Goodreads because I'm not about to be rambling on here. Some of y'all might have heard of it. It's gotten rave reviews, which her books always get mixed reviews. So the fact that this one got rave reviews has me like, I need to find out about this. Let's see. It has a 4.52 on Goodreads, which is really like, wow. So Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in the successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home, ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover is the chaotic office. Well, I can't read. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of what really happened the day her daughter died. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its contents would devastate the already grieving father. She recognizes all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue to love her. A standalone romantic thriller. Okay, she might need to start writing romantic thrillers, like, because that sounds so intriguing, and that's the book cover. So I already downloaded it on my Kindle Unlimited app. I'm like there. I'm just waiting to be in the mood. You guys, I am trash. I'm just waiting to be in the mood to read it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait when I get into the mood. You guys. Okay, a book I am almost finished with, and I don't know why I stopped in the middle. I picked up a series that I read a long time ago. I mean, I read the first book in this series years ago, probably like in 2014 or so. And it was the True Rain series. And it's by Jennifer Ann Davis. I think she's an indie writer. The first book was called The Key. And I remember that book really stayed with me and it really impacted me. And for whatever reason, I just never continued on with the series. Well, end of last year, I decided to go ahead and continue on with the series. So I am in the middle of, I believe, the second book called Red. Let's see if I can show the cover. Right there, that's the cover, Red. Amazing series. It's a fantasy. It's dark, it's gritty without being like, for people that don't like super sexual content or graphic content, then this is perfect because it's like almost clean but not clean. Definitely not clean on the violence and like cruelty and like crazy world building side. Cleaner on the sexual stuff side. So for those of you that like that kind of thing, I do as well. I like the more graphic stuff, but I can also appreciate the cleaner stuff as well. Another book that I'm almost finished with that I stopped in the middle of for who knows what reasons is The Vikings Chosen. And this is by Quinn Loftus. She is another, like, I don't know if she's an indie author or not, but I see her a lot on, I see her ebooks a lot on Amazon. And I've read a few of her books and I really like her writing. And it's more like fantasy-esque. This is another really good one that I really have been enjoying. Let's see if I can show you the cover of that one. The Vikings Chosen, right there. So that's been a good experience, reading experience as well. Definitely go check these books out on Goodreads. If you like fantasy, but you like a little bit more gritty, then I think you would enjoy them. So another book that I read that was really like unexpectedly good is by Tanya Bird, and this one is The Royal Companion. Let's see if we can see that cover right there, The Royal Companion. That book was really interesting. I enjoyed it, but it was an interesting reading experience because it's based on a world where women are basically just like property. So, you know, like back in the day, and still in some places around the world. But basically in this world, it's a fantasy world, and it's very medieval times feeling, but women are basically property. And this girl's family, they're poor. They can barely afford anything to eat. They live in a kingdom where the rulers are very cruel and very greedy, and their people are starving, and they don't care. They do not give a F. They're just like, oh, well, starve to death then. So there's a great divide between the rich and the poor. And so basically her family is this poor farming family, and it's her mom, her dad, her, and her brother. And she's like that typical tomboyish type girl that they have in these fantasy novels, loves to ride horses, very strong-headed, you know, very independent, knows her own mind. We know what trope we're dealing with, but it's okay. So they're a farming family, like I said, but the last crop failed. It's winter. They're starving. They barely have any food. All the typical like poor peasant type stuff, right? And her mother doesn't really care for her too much, and she's always known her mother doesn't care for her too much, and her father loves her to death. But they're starving, and they need money, and they need food. So her family sells her. Yes, sells her. And her mom tries to sell her. There are two princes in this land. One is not somebody you want to be sold to. I mean, you don't want to be sold to anybody. And the second prince couldn't be bothered, right? I think there are three princes, if I'm not mistaken. 3 brothers and an evil king. I mean, we know about this. But so the one prince that her mom tried to sell her to was basically like, look, this girl is raggedy in his eye and tomboyish. I have no use for her. I already have enough women and concubines and all that, so no. But you know what? I'll buy her for my brother. How about that? So long story short, she gets bought by one of the princes for his younger brother. And that brother is like the soldier brother. He's always going off to war. He's always fighting for the kingdom. He never really questions what his father and his brother are doing and if it's wrong or not. He just kind of does his job. He has no interest in having like bought or kept women. So there's a tension in this book because she didn't want to be sold and now she is. And they call them companions, right? But they're basically concubines. And she goes into a world where she's looked down upon and she's looked at as less than. And now she can never marry. She can never have a family because she's tainted. It's just really interesting. And I didn't expect it to be as dark as it was. But for me, it was dark because stuff like this still happens all over the world. And I just had that in the back of my mind. Sex trafficking is one of the things that I really am like feel very passionate about. And one of the causes that I'm really like, we got to do something about this. So I was low-key getting triggered, and it just really hit me. I was like, this is crazy. especially like there is like a brutal scene in the book, that trigger warning for those that do not want to read about sexual assault, because there is a brutal scene in this book. But yeah, it really surprised me. It took me by surprise. So for those of you that are interested, that was not the best synopsis ever given, but that's what happens when I go live and I don't have time to edit. So, but yeah, Tanya Bird, definitely check it out. Let's see, what else have I got on my TBR? So I went ahead and downloaded a lot of samples of booktubers books and authortubers books. I do not know if I will read these books, but I went ahead and got the samples anyway, just out of curiosity. So I got Kim Chance's book, a sample of her book, Keeper. A lot of times I like to download samples just to see if I will like the book. I also got another booktuber, I can't remember her channel, but she wrote a book called Song of the Dryad. And Natalie Lee. It has a lot of mixed reviews. I like watching her videos from time to time. Also, an author tuber that I love and really like admire her, and I love her channel. I binge her videos all the time, is Alexa Dunn. So her first book, Brightly Burning, downloaded a sample of that. Let's see. And then a book by a booktube or author tuber, Jenna Morishi or Morrissey. I'm not sure how to say her last name, but she has a very popular author tube channel where she gives writing advice. I actually did read her book, and that is The Savior's Champion. But yeah, I think that's it for my overall TBR currently reading. I'm just going through to make sure I didn't miss anything. But you guys can see, like, if you guys ever want me to do like an bookshelf tour, if it'll focus, definitely let me know, because I have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of books on here. I'm always downloading and buying new books because I am a mood reader and I just never know what mood I will be in. And I like to have like a variety and a ton of books to choose from. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this live. We've been here for about an hour now, almost an hour. Let's see here. Okay, Jocelyn says, how do you get on AuthorTube? It's just the writing community here on YouTube. Just like we call BookTube, the book community, BookTube, the writing community is called AuthorTube. So you can literally just search AuthorTube and a lot of videos will pop up. And there are more popular AuthorTubers than others. But let's see. What type of fantasy do you like? Jocelyn asked. I honestly enjoy all types of fantasy. I prefer a more unique plot. I prefer if it's more fantastical. Like I love reading about like creatures, right? Like fairies. I love reading about werewolves. I love reading about vampires. I love reading about different creatures, and less about humans, but I don't mind it. But I will read pretty much any type of fantasy. It doesn't matter what genre. It doesn't matter if it's young adult, new adult, adult. I just love it all. It's my favorite genre. Let's see. Any other questions? Sydney says, I also start books and then put them down for no reason at all and have to circle back around to them later. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, then I think I'm going to end this video. It was so great. I need to do more of these. This is my solution to me being like, I don't have time to film. I don't have time to edit. I just wanted to start these up. So if you guys enjoy these videos, definitely give them a thumbs up. I'll be doing more of them regardless for those that enjoy. But thumbs up this video. Please like it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you guys. I will probably be doing these at least once a week. It's not always going to be a TBR. It's not always going to be a currently reading, but it's always going to be about books. We're always going to be it might be a book review. It might be a book talk. It might be a book rant. So definitely be on the lookout for more of these impromptu lives. So that is my solution to just life in the moment and how hard it is for me to edit and post regularly. So definitely let me know if you enjoy this type of content. I enjoy making it, so like I said, I'll make it regardless, but I still value y'all's opinion. So these are all the physical currently reading. Oh, and oh my goodness. And these are all the physical new books that I've gotten recently. And I'm very proud of myself that it is only 4. Although to be fair, I also have like audiobooks that I'm listening to. So for those of you that may not know, I do have a book club with 2 other friends here on BookTube that host it with me. Brittany from Melanin Eclectic and Troy Nicole from Cole's Book Corner. A Seat at the Table book club. I will make sure to link our Goodreads page down below. We did choose our February book, and we will be, or February, whoa, skipped a whole month. We did choose our January book, and that is My Sister the Serial Killer. There we go. There it is right there. And I decided to get the audiobook because I restarted my Audible membership with the Michelle Obama book that I really wanted to read on audio because she was reading it. So I restarted my Audible membership and decided to read the audiobook of My Sister the Serial Killer. And for those of you that are really worried about the authenticity of the audiobook narrator, because this is written by a Nigerian author and it is about Nigerians in Nigeria, the audiobook narrator is Nigerian, and she is a Nigerian actress. So her name is Adepero Oduye. So she is the one that is reading the audiobook. So I was really worried about that. Really, really worried. So I'm glad that they got that one right. So yeah, I've been listening to the audiobook. I'm only like a page or 2 in, but yeah, just wanted to put that plug in there. Definitely join our book club. We did our first live show like a week or 2 ago on Becoming by Michelle Obama. It is posted on my channel. Go check it out. We had a great time talking. We talked about the entire book, what we liked, what we didn't like, our feelings, our thoughts. I mean, it's a great live show, if I do say so myself. It was a great discussion. So definitely go check that out if you have some time. And yeah, join us reading for our February, or it's time to go for our January book so that we can discuss it in early February. And that's it. I'm going to go. I'm starting to slur my words. It is late. I will catch you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.